Welcome to Timber&Terra. I'm Glenn, and we are back out here at the site of where I took a bunch of red maple stems and made a single one. Same over there. So we're in this area here, which is a spot of the property out back, which I reviewed a map of. That's, I think, in part 1 of this series. Managing for cedar, so eastern or northern white cedar. And basically to follow my management plan, as well as other stuff, because not everything that I'm going to do is covered in my management plan. For instance, that balsam fir there that's leaning a bit. I think it died last summer. The needles look to be all brown. There's a bunch of 3 right there. I'll take down at least 1 or maybe more. What is in my management plan is to deaden. In fact, the management plan specifically says to take red maple, gray birch, quaking aspen. There's this stuff, what we call popple here locally. Just cut it up and leave it on the forest floor, sort of deaden it. The reason for that is that, one, it's competition for the cedar, and the other thing is cedar regenerates best by seed when it has some decaying or rotting material, some woody stuff to germinate its seeds on, and that works best for that. But I have been taking out firewood where I need to, or it makes sense. I think some of the red maple here, it's rather small. I'll probably just do what the management plan says, just cut it up and leave it there and generate some coarse woody debris. So I'm not sure exactly what my plan of attack is going to be. I'm going to go in there, probably take down the red maple because we know that's going to come. It'll be in the way of other stuff being dropped. And then figure out what I want to drop. I'll sort of look at the base of it to see maybe, what some of these fir might be interrupting as far as light goes. Alright, so I basically cleaned up whatever I need to, or wherever I plan to in this immediate area. So let's tackle these firs, see which ones we want. Obviously we're going to take down that one. Undecided about those. We'll go in there and look at those and see which direction is best to try to follow this little bit of a leaner. Well, that's the little triplets I mentioned. This is our target tree. It doesn't matter if I take down any of those or not. Well, if I took them all down, I could probably drop it where they stand, but I'm not going to do that. I could try to take it down that way, but I have this younger tree, which has no sense. Well, that one and this one. This one is growing decently. Some of these have been suppressed so long, they're really not going to respond to being released or having light given to them. So I think my best choice is basically right where I laid that one. Now there's a chance I'm going to take out some of those, but there are so many of them around. If I take down 1 or 2, it's not the end of the world. It's sort of leaning right in that direction anyhow, so I'll do my best to sort of drop it right on top of that dead one, because I've already took out a couple small trees there with that dead one that I fell. This one had a little bit of rot at the bottom. That's what this punkiness or discoloration is. Kept cutting it, kept getting smaller, and finally, I don't know, probably 10 feet up, it went away enough. The rest of it is really nice, and that's not nearly as punky as it was, and it seems to be clearing up. The top end of it was fine. I ended up getting 2 16-foot logs, so a total of 33 feet here. I did take out some trees. not unexpected at all. This is what the trees look like, and they get bent over. It was the branches, for the most part, that did it, not so much the trunk. But yeah, there's plenty of undamaged fir around here that'll take over. Might even be good for them. Sort of some thinning. I did want to point out, it wasn't clear from the ground, but this tree did have a fair amount of green needles. You can tell they're not the healthiest looking. They're short, yellowish. A good part of the top here, you can see, did not have any or very limited, but a lot of them were dead and dying. The top was up there, sort of pulled it back. So this is the very top of the tree. So you can see some cones, some seeds. Probably several of these are children of that tree and some others. I think for now I'm going to leave the triplet there, because I'm going to take some other stuff behind it. And that's sort of the southerly direction, so as far as sunlight goes, these trees really aren't interrupting much. There's no immediate danger of them falling or being blown over. In fact, I think if I was to take one down, it might even increase the likelihood of the remaining ones being more susceptible to wind throw. And right behind that tree was sort of our objective, although it is not the prettiest of species. That's the cedar that we're trying to manage for here. So it'll grow up better. It'll, before we have that interruption there with some off branches, there's probably a 12, maybe a 14-foot log here someday. Another clump there. So in the case of clumps, over time I'll reduce them to a single stem. Cedar is somewhat sensitive to abrupt changes, although it doesn't seem to be sensitive to abrupt changes in light, meaning it responds to release almost any time of its life and to any degree. There are some species, red spruce I know of, that prefer to be released slowly. So, looking back here into the woods a bit further, so there is that's a black cherry, so I'm going to leave that. I don't have a lot of them, and the ones that I do have, as long as they're nice and straight like that one, I prefer to keep them. This is a dead old gray birch I just cut down. It was a stem that was right here. Gray birch there. These I'm just going to cut down and cut up. And this is poplar, quaking aspen. So initially I didn't think I was going to cut any logs for lumber for myself. There's really not much of a market for quaking aspen or poplar, at least here locally. So if I cut a saw log, it's going to be for myself. And I do have some use, or anticipate some use in the future, for boards to be used as siding, like board and batten, shiplap type siding. And I've used it before and it works well. So I think I'll do some more cleanup. Same with these gray birches. Clean some of this stuff up. These other trees, these are ash, white ash. We have the emerald ash borer here locally, so I'm guessing the future of this could be a very nice tree. It's got a bit of a crook here at the bottom, but I'm guessing its future is not all that bright with that insect looming here. Trees like that, the dead one I'll leave. I took that one down only because I thought it was in the way of what the tree I did want to take down. All right, well, for frame of reference, the tractor's there, right there with the chainsaws on the tree we just dropped. I do have a road out there. And a bit further out, there's the other field straight ahead. And there's another black cherry. Black cherry often has those cankers or burls. That big round thing there in the trunk. I don't think it generally inhibits the tree growth, and for people that make bowls or other specialty type stuff out of wood, it can be very decorative. Well, let me ponder on this this popple and we'll come back. Well, similar to the last one, I think the best way is right there in that little clump of fir, so I'm going to probably take out some more. So the lean of this, as you get towards the top, you know, where the crown is, actually maybe 16 feet up. You can see right there, a little bit of a bend. So we're going to drop it that way, sort of just behind the tractor. Hopefully the trunk is long enough or tall enough where it's the branches that are going to do the damage, that at least some of these nearby trees won't be hurt. And then maybe just, well, it'll be interesting to see how far out into the field the crown goes. I'm guessing some will be in the woods here with us, and then I think some of it will be out in the woods, or out in the field, I mean. Well, that's really not what I wanted to have happen. I was aiming to sort of hug the trees a little bit, try to not damage those firs to the left, but I guess I overdid it. So I'll cut the far end of the hinge. It could be that it'll twist itself off and fall down. Outside of that, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I don't have good access that way, you know, to take it with a cable and pull it off the stump and pull it down. Alright, well, that's a bummer. What I'll do is I'll wrap the cable as far up as I can get here, try to pull it in that direction out there towards the field. That should hopefully get it off the tree. Worst case is I have to cut that furthest of the triplets, which is what it's hanging up on. Mostly, I think. It's hanging up on all of them to some extent. Well, the carnage is great. Some will be saved. So yeah, the tree wasn't quite as tall as I was thinking it was going to be. Not much of the crown made it into the field at all. I took the top of that off. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure what other choice I had. Those will probably be fine. Alright, well, I'll probably cut 2 saw logs out of here. The rest of it I'm just going to cut up and leave. As I mentioned regarding firewood, I have so much. And of the species I cut, popple or aspen is the worst as far as BTU. So it's a lot of work for not a lot of heat. So most of this is, well, sort of cleaned up. I'll probably come back, you know, when the snow has melted a bit, get some stuff that's hidden under the snow. It's easier to walk around. Yeah. Well, there's a handful of trees standing still, but they'll probably take off since they don't have much competition anymore. And the one that I am most interested in retaining is this red spruce. I think it's a red spruce. It could be white. From the shape and the needles, I can't. The only way to tell, whew, that's white spruce, is to smell the needles. So if you crush the needles and it smells like cat urine, it's white spruce. Sometimes it's referred to as cat spruce for that reason. There's nothing wrong with white spruce, but you know, if left out in the open like this, then these branches grow really big and become pasture spruce. Much more so than if it was a red spruce, where the branches don't get so big. But hopefully there'll be some competition, some other spruce or some other fir that'll come up around it, you know, help this tree self-prune, kill off the lower branches, or you know, in future years I may come by and prune them as well. So all right, let's figure out how to get these out. So I have 2 firewood logs, which are the first maple I cut. I decided to take 2 16-foot logs. I could have taken more, but took the sort of the best and leave the rest. As far as that particular tree goes, I ended up cutting this because to take this out as a 33-foot log would not be easy without damaging the few remaining trees I have here. So I'll take these out separately and probably back the tractor around here. So I put another chain on that log just in case this one slipped off. It didn't look like it was really on there that well. Alright, well I'm going to drop those off. There's 2 softwood logs, the 2 firewood logs drop off in the field there. The saw log for myself that aspen just bring back to the house and start making a small pile there. You can certainly tell someone's been here. Yeah, it's always interesting, you know, in 2 or 3 years what this is going to look like, you know, how these trees respond to having a bit more light. So next time we're out here, just sort of push that way. There's another black cherry. It's got a bit more knots, not quite as clear and straight as the one right there, I guess, on the other side of that white spruce. And we'll just keep pushing that way. You know, some of those gray birches will come down, that stuff. But I'm not sure how long this video is, but if anyone has any feedback on if you like shorter videos, you know, 15 or 20 minutes, or if you like the sort of the medium, the 30 to 40 minutes, or if you like the long ones, which are generally an hour or so, let me know. But whatever you like, I do appreciate you hanging on for this one, and I hope you stay tuned for more. Thank you.